Can I help you guys?
RFK was among the teams that signed the charter agreement. Your thoughts on that and why you guys decided to sign?
Yeah, I didn't think this was going to be that newsworthy, but no, we want to run NASCAR for a long time to come, and signing the charter agreement is a statement to our commitment to doing just that. So we've got great plans for the sport, and excited to see that continue on for quite some time.
In regards to the terms of the deal, not specifics, or do you feel like it's a fair deal for the teams?
One of these agreements is only good when everybody's just a little bit jaded. And, I think there's things obviously we would like to have better, but it's, I think to some degree, there's pieces that we really like and there's pieces that, not so much, but it's hard to use the word fair. I don't know if I know what that means.
With Denny not signing it, does that cause other teams and you guys any consternation or problems going forward?
I really haven't thought about it that way. Certainly respect their, decision-making ability and autonomy that comes with that. But, for us, we felt like it was right to, do a deal and move forward.
Do you feel like you were forced to sign it? I mean, that sounds like they gave you, said, hey, we're going to sign it, or with your charter?
Well, I don't necessarily know where that's coming from, but forced is a really strong term. But, we are getting to a spot where, it's important to get these things settled.
Pay much attention to the 2311 front row lawsuit against NASCAR. What it could mean for you, your team, your driver, your salary, all that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I know what you know. Right? I know what you've told me. Right? And so I can't say I know any more than that. I know it's obviously quite a big storyline right now in our sport. Does it affect me? I'm sure some way, somehow, someday it probably will. But at the moment, there's nothing I can do either way. So I've just kind of letting it roll and see how the cards fall. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Do you have any confidence that, or what? Do you have any concern that, either that team could get either more leniency or less leniency from officiating or is that not something you can worry about?
Doesn't affect me. That does not. You just, like I said, we have a championship we're trying to win right now, and we're focused 100% on that. I understand this is huge for our sport. No matter what happens, it's obviously big because we've never seen it before. But I'm not close enough to even know what's going on or really even know the truth behind any of it, right? It's like our country we live in. You don't know what's really happening. We don't know all the full stories.
All you guys
have follow How closely will you follow this?
I mean, like I said, what I know is what you guys put out there. I haven't directly spoken to anyone about it.
I mean, we do care because it could impact potentially.
I think it's just
your business.
Yeah,
in the
I think it's a wait and see game. I mean, this thing is gonna take a long time, I think, to get to any sort of point where we know what the future looks like. I mean, I think really for us, I have opinions on it, but I've learned in the last couple of years it's probably good to just keep those to myself. I think that for us, we just have to focus on the track house, and ultimately we got to a place where I was comfortable signing the contract. I mean, I think we've done a great job the last couple of years building, I think, a valuable business under the current arrangement. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know, because it's unprecedented in our sport, this situation. I mean, there's no historical precedent. There's nothing that you can look at historically and say, well, this is what's happened. And I think in other cases like this in other sports, you have collective bargaining, you have unions, just a very, very different setup. So yeah, I don't know. John, it's hard for me to answer that question because it's so new. I think we have such a blank slate, like we could kind of land anywhere. I think whatever comes out of this, I have to believe that it should affect everybody the same.
Yeah.
But who knows?
That's the only fair way to do it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Justin, you mentioned the situation being unprecedented. How do you think this could have been, or at what point do you think this could have been avoided for everyone?
Oh, geez.
If it could have.
Yeah, I mean, negotiation. I think, in any negotiation, I mean, both sides are happy about some things and upset about other things. I mean, that's certainly the case with us. There's the elements of it that we're happy with. There's elements of it that we wish were a little bit different. This is, I don't know, sports operated, kind of the same way for decades, and it's a very fast developing country and economy, and there's just new ideas and new thoughts, and so eventually I think something was going to get challenged. But I mean, I don't know if there's certainly is there a way to avoid it? I mean, could have had 15 entities sign it or 0 sign it, but that's not where we landed. So I don't know. It's hard to predict. It's hard to know.
What have you learned in the last couple of years working with Bob and Jerry about whether it's their principle or character or whatever as they go through this process now that ramped up, I guess, this week with the lawsuit?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, what I would say is that Bob Jenkins is so dedicated to this sport. And what I mean by that is, I mean, he probably wouldn't want me saying this, but he has spent millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of his own dollars to be in this sport and to be competitive. And nobody does that, unless they're insane or super passionate. And, Bob's very passionate. He's passionate about the sport. He's passionate about our race team and getting competitive. And, it's been a steady progression. And I feel like we're at a point now where, we're a contender. And we're a contender week in and week out. And so, they've fought really hard to be in the spot that we're in now, to be as competitive on the racetrack as we are. And then Jerry's been around the sport a long time, and he's a guy that everybody on our race team leans on, when they're going through good times and bad times. And it's a big family at Front Row. It's not this corporate feel when you walk in. I mean, everybody knows each other's names. We all know each other's families. We celebrate those good moments together, and we fight through the tough ones. And that atmosphere isn't like that everywhere at every race shop. And I think a lot of it has to do with just how Bob and Jerry have gone about their business. We've kind of stayed that small, nimble family feel, and they love the sport. And as far as all the things going on, I mean, I think it just shows, like today, is just how dedicated we are to performing on the track and doing our jobs. And the rest will take care of itself.
Bob Pockris, Fox Sports. Was there any sort of team meeting or anything about, like, hey, what's going on off the track? Let's remain focused on the track. And or did you have any concerns that now that Front Row is suing NASCAR that might impact performance?
No concerns on it impacting performance. That's all that stuff's happening above my pay grade and my road crew guys' pay grade. We just stayed focused on the task in front of us. And so, it wasn't much of a distraction from that standpoint. And, it's the same thing. When you have a goal in front of you, it's easy to stay focused. And the goal was to come down here and sit on the pole. I mean, it's not just because of trying to have, 5 consecutive super speedway poles. I mean, that's one of it. But the other part of it is that we want to beat Kyle Larson for the most amount of poles in the year. And it's a big goal for us. And I think right now we're ahead. And, he's got great racetracks coming up. I think he probably has more opportunities to get poles from here on out than I do. But he's going to have to execute perfect. And that's the kind of pressure we wanted to put on him. Now, we know he's fighting for a championship, and he is not worried about who gets the most amount of poles. Actually, I think he is. I gave him a little wink before qualifying, and he didn't flip me the bird, but it was close to it. And so, look, we know we're not going to go and win every weekend. This is something that we can win, and we're focused on doing it. And so I'm just happy that we've executed it. And, there's more opportunities. So tomorrow's a big one right in front of us.
All right, Steven, go ahead.
Steven Toronto, CBS Sports. Michael, you've seen pretty much all ends of the business model that NASCAR teams operate under, whether it was the starting park days back at Phil Parsons and Randy Humphrey's team, or even now when you got to Front Row and it was considerably smaller than it is now. How much of what you've seen and what you've experienced kind of influences the prism for which you view the ongoing charter negotiations and obviously the lawsuits that come out of it?
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I did get a memo before I came here of what to not say and talk about, so I don't know if this fits in it. I need to pull up my phone and email. But I can tell you this. Yeah, no. I can tell you, this is what I can tell you, is that when we were starting parking with Phil Parsons and Randy Humphreys, everyone was like, oh, what are these guys doing? You know, they're just stealing from NASCAR, taking the check and going, right? And I know that there was years that Phil lost hundreds of thousands of dollars doing what we were doing. I mean, everybody got paid. There was 10 guys working on that race team and that race car. And if we made the race, we made it. And if we didn't, we didn't. And there was a tremendous amount of pressure on us every single weekend to perform and execute. And everyone, you know, just thought, oh, what are these guys doing? Just wasting space and wasting time, right? And the goal was to never be a starting park team. That wasn't the goal. It's just what we had to do to keep things going. And we worked on sponsorship, and when we got sponsorship, we raced, and that might have only been 5 or 6 times a year. If you made the Daytona 500, you had a little bit of a cushion. If you made Texas, it was great. If you made Indianapolis, that was a bonus. If you missed those races, you lost money. I mean, you lost money. There's no doubt about it. And there was years that we didn't make those races. And so I've seen it from that side. I've seen it from the front row side, and, you know, like I said, I'm not going to go into the details, but I can tell you this for sure, that Bob Jenkins has and continues to spend a tremendous amount of his own money. And every time we ask for more and more resources and more cars and more parts and a Hawkeye, and you guys have heard me talk about it over the years, it's coming out of Bob's pocket. And so I feel like, you know, I can't answer your question all the way, but I can answer it enough to know that there's not a team in the garage, you can quote this, that's more efficient than Front Row Motorsports. Not one team. There's nobody spending what we spend and performing how we perform. Nobody. And if he has to spend his own money, there's a problem.
Dan Gelson, Associated Press. I guess, Tyler, I mean, it's been a big week. What kind of concern, if any, would you have about driving, you know, competing as an open driver? And have you given any thought about, you know, the state of your contract going forward?
Yeah, at the top. 1, 2.
Go ahead, you're good. They can hear you.
Oh, they can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just didn't hear it. Yeah, everything related to the litigation, charters, I don't have a comment for at this time. Thank you, though.
But, I mean, this is more about your career, per se. I mean,
I don't have a comment at this time. Thank you.
As the mayor of the garage, kind of a go-between between NASCAR, the teams, everyone involved, what were your thoughts on the text messages that came out this week and the lawsuit?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, I you know, unfortunately, in these things like that, you know, things kind of get ugly from time to time, and you wish they didn't. But, you know, I'll be honest. I'm trying to stay away from that. Trying to focus on the racing. We've had a lot of great racing this year. The playoffs is the closest it's ever been, and you know, so honestly, that's getting all my energy.
Understood with your answer there, but being a TV broadcaster, where do you find the balance between hyping up the playoffs versus reporting the news on what fans should know with the ongoing?
Well, I'm an analyst, so I don't report news. I'm not out to break news. That's not my role. My role is an analyst, and my role is to analyze what's on the racetrack. So I don't consider myself a news guy. I'm a race analyst in the same way, you know, Chris Collinsworth is a football analyst. And so, you know, when they drop the green flag, it's about this race, and that's really all it's about.
It's never good when you smile and you're about to ask a question.
I'm a smiley person.
Yeah.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. Amid everything going on with 2311 off the racetrack, as we know, what is the mood currently within the shop as that date gets closer when things are going to get real serious?
Well, I would say, you know, none of us have, and this could be maybe, I don't want to call it naive to the fact, but we don't go there and talk about December 1st. We don't, like, it is our jobs to, it's our livelihoods to give it everything we got for the race that's ahead of us. And that sounds like a very cliche answer, but I could care less. Like, I got 5 left. It's 5 races. 5 races left to to go out and fight for a championship. And I set that tone from the beginning of the year. Like, we got to, work our tails off to make it count each and every week. And with everything going on in the background, I encourage my guys to stay focused on that. And so I can't answer your question and give you any insight to that, nor would I if it was the case, but I genuinely don't feel that. Now, if Sunday was December 1st, the mood was pretty down, and I hate that for my team. But it's a new week, a new weekend, fresh opportunity in front of us, and it's time to go focus on that.
There's all sorts of developments regarding what's going on off the track with 2311 last night, for example. How much attention do you pay to everything? How many questions are you asking? That kind of thing.
I don't. I focus on the things that I can control and let everything else sit on the background. Didn't even know anything went on last night. So that just shows you how, I guess, out of tune I am, but focused on, for me, the more important things.